Hello everyone, this is Bibi Cameron, and today I'm passing by to share super easy tips to elevate your Christmas card designs. The very first one is to use larger card formats. Go big. There is nothing more beautiful than a big, chunky Christmas card. So you can feel the weight of the paper and all the love that you are putting into that piece of artwork. This format will give you more room to create. You can use large dies and stamps, and sometimes it's easier and time effective to use large die cuts. And if you want, you can also use small and medium sized die cuts to create something like this. This won't fit in a small format, and people would tend to think that you put a lot of more work in a bigger composition when we all know what it takes to make a small one. So let me know in the comments if you will dare to go big. This card is a step forward of the 6x6 format. It measures 7x7 inches. The second tip is to use any supply you might have. It doesn't have to be Christmas themed. So today I'm going to be using this new die set that is called Intertwining leaves, and I'm also going to use this absolutely gorgeous die set that is called Fresh Flowers. And to complete the card, I'm going to also use Cardinal Love layering die set to create these beautiful cardinals, and also the Peace and Joy die from Timeless Sentiment. This is quite big, so it was perfect for the project today. Another thing that is very important is to use quality cardstock. This is the foundation of your projects. Here I'm using Necessities cardstock by Altenew. This is 216 grams. It's more in the thinner side, but it's great for die cutting, embossed beautifully, and it doesn't add bulk when it's layered. So it's perfect for creating card toppers or all the little pieces we layer over a project. For card bases or backing panels, I always use 300 grams cardstock. And if you see me there, I use every single piece of that cardstock, and I use scissors to cut the little scraps that I can use later on for leaves or something else. For the project today, I'm going to use 5 leaves. The Intertwining leaves die set will cut different leaf design that you can layer up like this. So this piece here could have 3 layers if you want to, but I'm going to keep it just super simple, and I'm going to use only 2 layers. This is super easy and quick to put together, and I used the smaller dies in the set to cut these leaves. The die set has dies that will create larger leaves, but I use this one because it has a curved shape, and when we are going to create wreaths or this kind of compositions, we need stamps or dies that has that shape. And depending on the size of the die cut or the image, and also how many we use, we can create larger or smaller compositions. So you can step this up or elevate your card designs by using leafy dies to create wreaths or frames in different shapes. It doesn't have to be circular. It could be oval, square, you name it. You can see there the leaves on a 5x7 inches card. Of course, you can shape the paper and break the fibers of the paper to be able to arrange this in a different way. Of course, when you do this, the paper loses stability, so you need to find a way to recover that stability. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. So here I'm just gluing the bottom part of one leaf with the top part of the other one, making sure that when I'm doing this still have that curved shape. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to do the same with all the leaves. And I was wondering if any of you have done real flower decorations. You know that you have your flowers, your fillers, and your embellishments, wire, and you start trimming things up and shaping things up to create that specific decoration. It's pretty much the same here, but with paper, and your wire is the glue. And enjoy the process. This doesn't have to be fast, but if you want to make it fast, yes, you can't be super fast. Cut all the pieces first and then go like in a mass producing line. And you can see here that with 4 leaves I can make that wreath, and you can fit that wreath in a 6x6 inches card base. I decided to add an extra leaf, so I use 5 leaves, and this is going to go big. It doesn't fit in a 5 by 7 inches format, and it doesn't fit in a 6 by 6. So if you see here, this is pretty straightforward, it's easy. And if you see here at the back, the rounded shape is not perfectly done. It could be done better if you have a die set that cut a circular frame in that size, but we don't have such a large circular die. So what we are going to do to fix this stability problem is to add another layer at the back, but this is offset the gluing points. So that's going to give extra support to the joints of the grid. I hope that makes sense. So here is also an idea to use this type of layering dies in different ways to create different layering compositions. So once we have the bare grid, we can start adding some contrast. And the best way, an easy way to do it is by adding inks. I could use a brown ink or a very dark green ink at the center of the leaves or the stem just to create that effect. And that's what I'm doing here. You can also use a sticky mat to hold the grid in place while you do this to avoid bending the paper or damaging your grid. So it's important also to give support to the die cuts when you are doing this. And as you see there, it takes less than a minute and you will be done. The next step for me, super duper important, is to add sparkle and shine. Sadly, the product I'm using here is not released yet, but I could not help myself. I've been using it for months while I tested and love it so much. So I'm going to use silver and gold paint. You can use any metallic paint that you have in your stash to do this, but do it because to elevate your Christmas cards, you really need to add a sparkle. Christmas is all about lights and sparkling things, or it's just my thing, I don't know, I love it. So you can see here how nice this is looking here, bare paper with some inks and splatters, easy peasy. And to create flowers for the grid, I'm going to use fresh flowers die set, and I'm going to use the smaller flower dies in this set. This die cast has a keyhole that allows me to identify how to layer the pieces. I really love this system. Sometimes we have to guess what is what, how this is going to go together. Well, not with these die sets. You don't have to do that. And one die had 2 dies within the same metal chim. So you actually have 3 dies cutting 6 shapes. So you just need to run them twice through the die cutting machine to have a bunch of flowers. And you can also use translucent shimmery paints, cover the surface of the die cuts or splatter as well. I'm using here another paint that is copper, and just to add that reddish shade of shine to the flowers. And because 1 drop of that paint goes a long way, I also decided to splatter that paint on the grid. I can't control myself, I have to splatter everything. So there you go, you have that beautiful shine all over. And to create a very symmetric composition, I want you to adhere your die cuts or images in one corner of your project and the other ones just in front of them. I always use a larger element in the center, like this flower that is a little bit bigger than the other ones, and 2 small at the sides. This is to balance things out. But as I go building this up, I just start adding more elements around them. I have a couple of spare cardinals I made for a previous post for Altenew. I have the videos on how to do this on my YouTube channel and also on my Instagram, but you might have seen how to put together these little birds before. The next tip is to add metallic accents. For this, you can use glitter cardstock or gold mirror cardstock, all that kind of things that are super beautiful. So I'm going to cut the leaves from the fresh floral die set. It's the same that I used to cut the flowers. And I'm simply going to shape this a little bit, although shaping glitter cardstock is not a great idea because the paper can crack. I just did it anyways because those are the details that makes all the difference. And I just stick them around the floral clusters to complete that design. For the center of the flowers, I just use gems, and this also adds lots of sparkle and texture. So this is how my wreath is looking now. You can use any cardstock color. I just use very traditional colors for the season. And don't ask me why, but I decided to add this die cut here because I feel that the center of the wreath was a little bit empty, and a simple detail like that can make a big difference. So all we have to do here is to stick this to our card base, and I'm using here liquid adhesive and also dimensional foam pads. I use dimensional foam pads on the shapes that are sticking out or that I want to rise from the bottom. For example, the birds, the golden leaves and things like that. And then I carefully place this over the panel, and the dimensional foam pads are going to keep everything in place while the glue dries. For the sentiment, I use mirror cardstock, and I also die cut a backing panel out of vellum, and I added glue at the back of this piece where the vellum is covered by the cardstock, and then I also added a backing piece that I die cut out of white cardstock. The vellum mute the color of the white piece of cardstock, and it also allows you to add a very subtle and elegant finishing touch to your projects. When I have done this and my design is complete, I then stick some of the leaves that are sticking out, and not all of them because I want this composition to have some movement. And then I stick the panel on a 7x7 inches card base. I got these card bases here in the UK like 5 years ago. Haven't used them until now. They come pre-scored with envelopes, so you don't have to worry about the envelope size. So once this is done, you can just leave it as it is, or you can explore the possibilities to add other elements. So I decided to use enamel dots here, and I also die cut more leaves out of gold mirror cardstock because I feel that this needed a little bit more. So now I'm happy and I can say that I finished. If I want to replicate this card, the process will be quicker and a lot easier because all the guessing and wondering was invested in the first prototype. So that's all for today. I hope you like this card, the ideas and the inspiration. I hope you like the video, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel or visit the blog for more ideas and inspiration. Thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting. Bye!